So let's go into topic number one. This is brought up. I asked for suggestions in our Facebook group, and this one was done by Luis Fabian Clemente. Tweeterhead, not feelings, facts. So I put a video out, maybe it was last week, I don't remember when it was, talking about a response to a very heated conversation in our Facebook group about Tweeterhead and some of their customer service. And so I did a video, and I definitely, I don't know, like some people responded well to it. Some people didn't. They said I should, take my friendship with Chad out of it, that relationship out of it. I should just be doing news, that sort of thing. And so I did respond to somebody today, and I said, my channel is entertainment, and it is, a channel that I started just for me. Like, it's just, I wanted to be able to talk to folks and meet people and show off my collection. And so not every video I do on this channel is news. Sometimes it's just my opinion. Sometimes it's just my feelings on things. And I'm not going to apologize for that or change, because that's just the way I feel. And that video was just kind of a passion response that I just wanted to say in that particular video. It's like, yeah, they need to do better. Tweeterhead needs to do better. Their customer service sucks. They got to do better. And I did say in that video, I think that people just need to give them a little bit more time. Now, again, if it's a year from now, people have the absolute right to be pissed off. But I feel like that Chad is still trying to get his ducks in a row. And so that was my opinions on that video. And, some people commented about the rogues that were all just, yes men to Tweeterhead and that sort of thing. And so I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to, share your thoughts on what's going on. Again, most of you at some point have met Chad. You know what kind of guy he is, what kind of, person he is. He's a fellow collector. But at the end of the day, too, he is a business. And, customer service needs to be better. Where do you guys kind of weigh in on all this stuff? I know, again, he had that big announcement about the no refunds and things like that. They'll just send you a new product if it's broken. Well, where do you guys weigh in right now?
I said it when he had the announcement. You bring in somebody on the guy Eric to take over. He's not going to get caught up on everything that's just been going on for the last few years. He might do good, moving forward, but to get caught up on what's happening in the past, he's probably still contacting Chad and asking Chad's opinion. So nothing's happening right now. That's pretty much what I think is going on. It's Eric's answering the emails, but he's then running it through Chad, asking Chad's opinion, which takes long to get a response from him. So I think over maybe a year, things will finally get caught up, but it's going to be a while before you see that happen.
Well, I don't own any Tweeterhead statues, so number one, but I did pre-order that Catwoman that he just, came out with. So, I don't have 10 Tweeterhead, statues laying around, but same thing as Eric. Okay. With respect, he's identified a problem. Customer service, I suck. That's pretty much what he said. He said, look, I'm trying to get to everything, but I can't.
He almost comes on channels and says that. No one does.
He even says that customer service sucks. So the fact that he can be as blunt and honest, hey, number one, I have a fault. Number two, moving forward, I'm trying to do, I got this new guy, Eric. But like Eric just said, Eric is probably getting emails from, let's just say a year, from people that emailed, with respect, had conversations starting a year ago. So he's got to get Chad's input to okay, what's going on with this guy, Bob? Bob says, he's been talking to you. How do I proceed, etc. So, with respect, people always talk about price. Well, if he goes and hires, let's just say he hired 10 customer service reps. Well, guess what? The price of his statues are going to go up, people. So
he's got to pay those people.
Yeah. So there's a little give. With respect, everybody's always complaining about price. So do you want the price to stay here and, hey, I'm working on a solution? Or do you want me to just go hire 10 people and then the price goes way up here and then you're not happy with the price? So
Yeah. What do you think, Billy?
First, it is true. Like right now, like Eric, myself, Chris, we've sat at a table and had dinner with Chad that he treated us to, and that wasn't about business. He is a good friend. He is a great guy. So it makes it hard because you have these, friendship, you know, you have feelings for the guy. And at that dinner, he was, I wish that everybody and it's not going to matter. I totally understand that. But I wish everyone who has an issue with Tweeterhead right now, whether if they're waiting for a refund or their product or whatever it is, he poured his heart out that night and just about how bad he felt, and how much better he wants to be, but that only goes but so far. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you're acknowledging this is bad. You're acknowledging that this needs to get better. And people will accept that. Just like we accepted the XM situation when they sent out that first letter. And it was like, okay, well, and we all said it. People like information. People like, transparency. It puts us at ease for a little while. It buys you some time. And I think when he hired the guy Eric, everyone was like, well, okay, so now I'm gonna get a response right away. And I seen from people that he doesn't get back to them either. But like Eric said, our Eric, he might be trying to get caught up. So it's hard to tell people, hey, give them a little bit more time when they feel like they've already given enough time. And we're all customers someplace, whether if it's here or there. And when customer service is, lagging, we tend to think that our order is the only order that they have to deal with. So I mean, I feel bad for the guy. I think he's overwhelmed. But and I'm not going to tell anybody to be patient because I'm not always patient.
Brad, I think they probably put out, what do you think? Like 5 to 10 a year, maybe not quite that many.
Not this past year.
Yeah, not this past year. In the years past, maybe. But I think maybe 5 to 7, maybe, depending on the year, Brad. Some like they do like Masters of the Universe stuff. They do some monster stuff. They do Batman stuff.
But if production hasn't been the same for Prime Ones, or I mean, Sideshow continues to crank things out, but it's not going to be the same for him. From what we have heard, it's not confirmed. They don't use specific factories. They all use the same factories. So if one, if they're working on Sideshow order and he can't get his little 300 bust in there, there could be delays anywhere along the chain from when something's announced to when something shows up at your doorstep.
And I don't think, I mean, I have seen some people complain about delays, and again, we've talked about it a lot on the channel where yes, there is pecking order. Who gets priority at these factories? If you're a bigger company and you have a lot bigger order, they're going to take you first because they, that's more money in their pocket, right? It just makes sense. Then after that, you have to have the logistics of the containers. Sometimes that has been a giant frustration. Again, Chad talked about that at that dinner, like just how just frustrating and annoying it is sometimes. So and how much money sometimes they're charging, like during COVID, they like tripled or quadrupled the amount of the price for these containers. And now they've done it again recently. And so that obviously, he has to pay for that to get it here. And again, there's pecking order for those. Everybody's fighting over those containers. So, believe me, he wants everybody to have them yesterday because he wants his customers to be happy, and he doesn't want to hear negativity. He doesn't want to have like people with pitchforks saying, well, where's my damn statue? You promised me on a show that it would be here in November. Well, yeah, he wanted it here in November. That's whenever he was told it was supposed to be here. But
do you see how, like what we just said, how that something can significantly delay any specific statute? So like, let's say that something goes up for pre-order and it's got an estimated ship window, between, I don't know, fourth quarter of 2025. And then, so now someone drops their pre-order money or pays for it in full. And then, as it's getting closer, they're not hearing anything. And then that time frame goes by, they feel they should get their money back. But what if, the retailer or whatever, I mean, it wouldn't be the retailer, but what if they can't get into that factory to get these things painted? What if, and then there could be delays anywhere along the process that would keep them from hitting that window. And then after that, people want them. Now, Sideshow does give you your money back. If something's delayed 90 days, you can have your refund and your deposit
And
back.
deposit.
Right, but he's a smaller entity that's, Sideshow can take that kind of hit, whereas he can't.
Yeah, they do
So
way more business.
they do way more business than, so I mean, I'm not expecting customers to understand that, but delays in this hobby can happen anywhere along the line, whether if it's at the factory or getting into a factory. And if you can't if some other company comes in and gets their stuff into that factory before you do, and now you're waiting, there's a delay, right?
Right.
There's only but so many of these artists to paint these things to go around. If you're
Right.
waiting on a container, there's a delay. If it's a different company that produces the styrofoam and the cardboard boxes that they're in, and that's delayed, there's a delay. There's no boxes, so it can be anything.
And Stationary Warrior brings up, it says it's not about the delays, it's about zero communication and horrible customer service. And
Then
again, that's what we've already said.
Then there you go. So like there's these delays, and you should be able, are you gonna explain this to everybody, put out a newsletter? What are you gonna do? After a while, people are gonna get tired of reading that, and people are gonna get tired of hearing from you. So
Yep.
There it is. I mean, if you can't have patience in this hobby, then maybe this hobby is not for you.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be delays. That's just how it goes. These things are hand painted, done one at a time, even though they're mass produced, but it takes a while.
And it's different than any other industry out there.
Anything else that has to get baseball cards get printed up, comic books get printed up from a machine, it's very unusual.
Humble Collector said the emotional connection to a person should be taken out of the business. So in our this situation's weird. It's not like everybody else out there. I have a YouTube channel. Jeff has a YouTube channel. Okay. Eric has a YouTube channel. And so through those YouTube channels, you meet people, you have connections, you might develop partnerships, or you might develop friendships. I don't work for Tweeterhead. I own 2 Tweeterhead products. Chad has been kind enough for me to have Tweeterhead come into this space to see, so you guys can see it, to send it on, because I believe in what they create. I love their artistry. I love their sculpts. And so, yeah, I definitely support Tweeterhead. I don't support bad customer service. Again, I think that's shitty. So yes, he knows it's shitty. They're trying to do something about it. Is it maybe too late for some people? Yep. Some people have written them off years ago, and that's fine. That's your business. But when in terms of emotional connection, that is just my personal story, or maybe Jeff's personal story, or Eric's, or Billy, people that have met him. We are coming from that angle. Again, you have the ability to choose to buy from him or not.
Yeah.
Again, this is not, whenever I did my video, it wasn't news. It was just my opinion. And again, that's something we're all entitled to. I mean, at the end of the day, you are the purchaser.
You can view somebody or some situation through different lenses. We view him as a friend and we're rooting for him to do well. But you just said, if his customer service is shitty, it's shitty. That's it.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like, yes, it's shitty. Yes.
I think people are upset because, he was on a show and said, hey, I'm hiring some help. He used to work for Sideshow. He gave us all this information. And then people are still complaining that he's not getting back to them. And again, they don't understand that he possibly is backed up, but everybody thinks that their order is the only order.
And I've also found out through various networks that, sometimes, when people post negativity, sometimes they don't always post the entire story. Yep. And I'm just going to leave it at that. And so again, they're having to comb through some of this stuff. And I had a short conversation with Chad earlier this week, and we talked about this very same thing. And he said that, Eric, he is night and day going through this stuff. And again, he has to prove it now. He has to answer the emails. I know that they sent a ton of refunds again last week or this week. I'm not sure. Chad talked about it on the show, how many thousands of dollars he's done in refunds. And that's why he said he can't do it anymore, because people were, my dog died, so I want a refund. And that's people's opinion, or not opinion, but it's people's prior. What's the word I'm looking for? Prerogative. Thank you. It's their prerogative to ask for a refund. And up until now, you could, for any reason. And again, Chad said, that's my own fault. I didn't have any caveats to, my brother and sister-in-law is getting married. I can't afford it anymore. I need to cancel it. And so again, he was taking hit after hit. And again, that's from him, from the business side of things. So, but again, the customer service does have to get better. Jeff, did you want to weigh in on that? Like from what you see on your side of things?
Yeah, I mean, I think every email should be answered. Every phone call should be answered. If there's an issue that's affecting a lot of customers, it should be posted about on social media. Yeah, he needs more communication. He knows that. There's no doubt about that. I like Tweeterhead. It frustrates me when people call me a mouthpiece for Tweeterhead. Those people obviously haven't watched all my Tweeterhead reviews.
Superman.
So that's frustrating. And also, I think a lot of people, I've heard people suggest, even in the chat tonight, that they should just sell everything through Sideshow. But Sideshow takes 40% when they distribute it on the company's items. So if you think you're going to get a $300 1/3 scale bust through Sideshow, that's not going to happen.
And it's way more than 40%.
Right. So
it's going to be about like $700-800 now instead of $350. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be about $800, and then that's what I was saying.
Right.
You know, you want better customer service? Okay, he'll go out and just do it through Sideshow and be done with it. But like Jeff saying, you're not going to get those prices anymore.
Right. So I do like Tweeterhead. I have ordered 3 of their 1/3 scale busts. I have no reason to believe they're not going to be coming. Someone asked in the chat if there's an update on the Superman bust. I asked Chad a couple of days ago. He said it should arrive in California at the end of June. I'm sorry, the end of January.
Oh.
Don't freak out. The end of January, not June. So yeah, I'm going to get my stuff. I'm not worried about that at all. It's a very frustrating situation for us and for Chad, I'm sure. But yeah, every single email should be answered. Every phone call should be responded to.
And in a timely manner.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, again, whether it's relationship aside, that is something that we are consistently saying, that it is important for them to fix it. He's come on the channel saying he's going to fix it. Now he has to fix it. He will be the first one to admit, I need to fix it. And so, again, if he doesn't, it will ruin his business. Yeah. And that's just bottom line. People will not buy. And so, again, everybody's frustrated, as you should be. You just want an answer, or you want it to, I mean, sometimes even people have said that they get an answer and then they get refunded 3 months later.
That's what happened this week.
I saw somebody who said that they agreed to give him a refund, and still took 3 or 4 weeks.
Well, that's what I was out thinking. Chad admitted himself he's hurting with all these giving out refunds. So maybe he just doesn't have the funds to move around to even refund people in a timely manner at the moment. I don't know.
Possible too.
And again, it doesn't mean everyone has to feel the same about Chad or Tweeterhead that you do. Exactly. You're a buying customer. Buy if you want, and if you don't trust.
I mean, I'll tell you quickly. I had an issue with Joker on Throne. I wanted to cancel it, not because I didn't want it. It's a long story, but is when they were changing it from 1/6 to 1/4, whatever. I ended up canceling it, and I'm not gonna lie, it took me a long time to get my refund back. As far as like emails back and forth, I mean, it was decent. I wasn't getting ignored for months, but it definitely took a while to get the money back. I did get my money back, and I was a little hesitant to order again. And when the Mr. Freeze bus came out, I placed my order knowing that this could take a while, and now I know that. So I would say moving forward, just be patient or don't order.
Yeah. And, I mean, again, go ahead.
I've ordered even through Prime 1. I don't know how many of you guys have the Harley Quinn, the comic version, the one where she's on the skate ramp. Chris, I think you have that one, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. That was like a 2.5 year wait. And I got frustrated, didn't want to wait anymore. And they were like, all right, well, you're not getting your deposit back, which was at, whatever, like almost 150 to maybe $200. So I just left it there and just waited, and it eventually came, but that's Prime 1, and they had us waiting over 2 years for that piece.
Yep. I think it was almost 3.
It might have been almost 3 years. Yeah.
I think it was almost 3.
I think it was almost 3. I actually, I couldn't believe when I saw that final charge notice. I was like, I
Yeah.
couldn't even remember what it was. It was
know, it's
it
crazy.
was so long. I thought
Brad-
that piece was never gonna get made.
Brad, sorry, you've asked a ton of questions, and I don't know the answer to all of them. I'm sorry, but Tweeterhead has been. I just looked it up. They were in business. They started in 2012 as a small business making model kits. So that's how Chad got started. Then I know he got the license to do like the Munsters. He did like the 60s Batman.
First Tweeterhead piece I had was the Cesar Romero Joker
Yeah, great piece
with the wall behind him.
Yeah, so he was very into that kind of stuff, like Elvira, like that kind of time period. And
His first
so
piece
that's
was like,
how he got started.
Some witch kit. I forget her name.
Yeah. And so again, you can take our opinions, you could take it or leave it. You can buy from them or not buy from them. Bigger picture, again, it really doesn't come down to anything other than they need to do better with customer service. Everybody agrees that the products are really well done. They like the sculpts. Some people are really excited about the bus. I am. People love the Master of the Universe stuff. And so, again, it does come down to customer service. And at this point, bottom line, no matter what we say or no matter what we feel, they have to do better. They have to get their ducks in a row. And if they don't, it will cost Chad. And he knows that. And so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that Eric works his magic. I hope he is up day and night. I hope he is answering everybody's emails, because if they don't, they're just going to continue to piss people off. And I would hate to see that, because, again, I do believe in what Chad is doing. I love his art direction. I love Dave Igo. I love his art direction with some of the monsters and the Master of the Universe stuff. So I personally, as a collector, I want them to succeed. And knowing Chad, I want him to be able to succeed.
And if you do contact the company, make sure you're writing out well-thought emails. I could even think of people complaining about Sideshow's customer service back in the day, to where I'm like, I've never had an issue with Sideshow's customer service. It's about communication. If you communicate properly through email, which sometimes is hard to do because you're writing something out versus verbally communicating with somebody over the phone or in person. But just make sure you're properly getting the message out to them and not attacking them in the emails. Also, that doesn't help.
Henry says, I want to see Eric on the shows now, not Chad. We're actually going to have Eric on. We're going to put him under the fire. And so, we're going to ask him those questions, what he has seen, because I'm sure he has some stories to tell also from the customer service side. But he also, again, he's the new front man for this. So he needs to.
Is this guy Eric, is he answering phones or just answering emails? Is there a phone number that you can call?
They did actually just, let me see.
Because that's the thing with Sideshow is you can call and get someone on the phone.
Yeah, it's easier to do that.
It's easy to do that. And I think the verbal communication where, obviously it's a conversation between you and another human. It's a lot, it puts people at ease more than sending an email, getting your thoughts. First of all, writing an email is frustrating as it is because you're probably upset and now you have to type all this stuff out. And then waiting for a reply that either never comes or comes, a week later.
They did just do this direct email, eric@tweeterhead.com. And I think they also added something else new. I can't remember what they said. Let me see if I could see it.
I think Chad might need 2 Erics.
The phone emoji's got a headset on, but there's no phone number.
That's right. No phone number.
He's not answering phones. We're wearing a headset for.
I agree. I think at least right now it would be not a bad idea to bring on a couple extra people. But like you said, it's going to cost him more. But at what expense? For his company. That's that sort of thing. So I think it might be a really good idea to add a couple more people to get caught up, and then let Eric do his thing from then on. And again, if you don't want to mess with any of this stuff, buy from Sideshow.
Yep.
Well, moving forward, Eric's job should be very ezy because there's no refunds. So now he could be like, sorry, no refund.
Yeah, he's going to handle returns. He's going to handle shipping a new product out. So, and again, if that pisses you off, again, don't buy from Tweeterhead. It's not that complicated. People can choose to buy where they want to buy. I think people are more upset about, the customer service, getting a response. That needs to improve without question. And so hopefully it will. That's what I'm hoping for. I think everybody on this panel is hoping for that because, again, I think everybody's kind of tired of hearing about it. and customers are upset and frustrated. So they need to be compensated. I cannot speak tonight. It's been a long day.
How long has it been for the Superman bust?
It was supposed to be here like what, end of November, I think.
Yeah.
Now we're going into Chinese New Year, which is always a delay.
Well, no,
If
he
it was
said it's
supposed-
supposed to land end of January, so should beat that, hopefully.
Oh, okay.
And see, I thought it was closer than that. I thought it was more like it was going to start.
So,
Isn't it
here's
on a
the
boat
thing.
already?
Here's the thing you got to understand about Chad. When you ask Chad when a statue ships, he always tells you when it's shipping from China.
He needs to change that.
So when he told you it's shipping in a few days, that meant from China. It's arriving here at the end of January. I was very specific when I messaged him.
Okay, good.
When is it arriving in California?
So maybe that's something he can just to improve his communication. Maybe he can be more like, this is when it's going to arrive here.
Yeah, no one cares when it's leaving China.
Right. And I mean, it might sound good at the moment because then it makes it seem like it's coming earlier.
Right.
But I mean, and you know, China can sometimes be, you know, a couple weeks. Sometimes it could be three months. Like it just depends on what boat it's on.
Right.
And if the you know, like, again, if the ports have a strike or if the ports are backed up with Christmas stuff, I don't know.
He also
all that
said-
delays things.
He also said that's the third container. So there are 2 containers coming prior to that one.
And I
full of
think-
a lot of the stuff people
Yeah,
were-
Batman. There was some Batman on that one, and a Master of the Universe piece. When I
Trapjaw,
talked to him earlier in the
right?
week.
Okay.
Trap
So
Jaw or something like that.
Yeah, maybe Trapjaw, maybe
Skeletor,
the original one.
life-size bust.
So there were a number of pieces on that one, and maybe that's what he was talking about when I talked to him, because I know he said it should be here any day, in terms of like arriving in the port, and then they have to unload it and ship it off.
Right.
Yeah, Brad, they're made in China, all of the statues, but he is based in California. So stationary wanderer, what do you suggest?
Next topic.
Just don't buy as a cop-out statement. Why? I mean, what else do you want?
Chad said that himself. You know, go through Sideshow if you don't want to go through Twitter.
I mean, I don't know why it's a cop-out statement. It's like they need to fix their stuff, and if they don't buy from them. I mean, if somebody's not meeting my needs as a consumer, I'm not gonna buy from them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know what's so complicated about that. Right, am I missing something there, guys? Am I missing
No,
something?
I think he was replying to my comics. I keep making comments like that, but
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
it's true. I mean, listen, I had an issue. Same way with you guys. I was mad not getting my refund in time. I made the decision to order from them again, knowing that, hey, this could happen again.
Are the busts available on Sideshow though?
No.
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 So I mean, so to say, hey, buy from Sideshow. What if you want one of the busts?
Yeah.
Yeah, Foxhound, there is just one person dealing with customer service. They are a 3-man operation. It's Chad, Dave, and Eric. Again, very, very small. I mean, we talk about them as a big company, but they're a very small company. So, yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, Jerry, there are ads during the live stream. That is YouTube. And he must be paying fortune for licenses and maybe overstretched himself. I mean, it's very possible. Licenses are not cheap. So I was kind of feeling the same way, Jerry. I was like, it's like I couldn't quite tell. But anyway, I don't know if we've beaten a dead horse, but again, I just wanted to let everybody say their piece. I think we've made it pretty clear.
Yeah, before we move on, it goes with any company. If you can't, don't go spending money on luxury items if you know something could possibly happen in the future to where you're gonna want to request a refund on that item.
Yeah. So it is what it is.
No more refunds.
Hey guys, thank you so very much for watching today, and if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button right here on the screen and check out these 2 awesome videos. I think you're going to love them. And also please join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I would love to have you join in all the fun. Thank you guys so very much for watching. See you in the Batcave.